Hello and welcome to episode number 202 of Bill Man the Sport Guys podcast. I'm your host, Bill Man the Sports Guy. For the latest news of the NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL and college sports, this is the podcast to be. And you can always let me know your thoughts and opinions on Twitter at Billman Sports, Instagram at Billman Sports Guy, and here on YouTube at Billman Sports Guy. Now, today's episode is pretty simple. I'm going to give you guys my NBA playoff bracket and who I have winning the NBA Finals this season for the 2024-2025 season. So nonetheless, here we go. Now, let's start off with the West. Between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Memphis Grizzlies, I'm going to go with the Thunder. They look more like a complete dominant team than compared to the Grizzlies. You know, Alex Caruso and Shanger. I apologize if I butchered it, if I say it wrong. But Shanger, Alexandra, uh, Shea Gilligas Alexandra. That's how you say it. So again, I apologize if I said it wrong. Then Jalen Williams. Then you have Isaiah Hartenstein, Aaron Wiggins. The Thunder look pretty dominant. So I would say watch out for them. Next up, we have the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Clippers. And for me, I'm going to go with the Denver Nuggets. I just trust them a bit more on for a potential deep playoff run than the Los Angeles Clippers. While the Clippers have Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, but if they both go down, who are the Clippers really going to rely on? So, and then the Denver, they still have Nikolai Jokic, one of the best players in the NBA. They also have Jamal Murray. They have Aaron Gordon. I could go on. So I'm going to go with the Denver Nuggets that advance. And then between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Minnesota Timberwolves, I'm actually going to pick the Lakers in 6 with the addition of Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and plus JJ Redick's first season as head coach. I have a feeling the Lakers are it's not going to be easy, but I think the Lakers are going to pan out at the end of the day. So I'm going to say Lakers in 6. Now, between the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets, in the end, I'm going to go with the Golden State Warriors. I think the Warriors are going to try and make one more push for a potential one more NBA final run with Steph Curry. And between them and the Rockets, the Warriors are more experienced, while the Rockets are still a young team. Now, if we're going to go to the West, but we're going to work from the bottom to the top, between the Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic, I'm going to go with the Boston Celtics. It's pretty simple. Boston just won the NBA Finals last season, and this team is going to dominate. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Ryan White. They have Kristaps Porzingis in the playoffs, and he's a big factor for them. So I'm going to go with the Celtics. Now, the New York Knicks and the Detroit Pistons, I'm going to go with the New York Knicks in 6 games. I think they're going to have a bit more advantage than the Detroit Pistons. Now, it's not going to be easy, but I think the Knicks are going to move on and beat the Detroit Pistons. Now, I'm not trying to throw shade at the Detroit Pistons because this team looks young and they look promising, but the Knicks just got a lot more players with more playoff experience than the Detroit Pistons. Now, the Indiana Pacers and the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm going to go with the Bucks. I think Damian Lillard's going to show off. I think Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to go off. The Bucks team is going to go a bit crazy in the first round against the Pacers. Now the Miami Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers, I'm going to go with Cleveland in 5. The Cleveland has just been a dominant team all season long, and they're really going to outplay the Miami Heat. So now we are going to go to the second round. Let's start off with the West. So between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm going to go with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Once they get hot and at the right time, it's pretty much game over for the Bucks. I think Darius Garland, I think Donovan Mitchell, the whole team's going to go off. They are going to pounce all over the Milwaukee Bucks. And then between the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks, I'm actually going to go with the Boston Celtics in 5. They are just going to be too much for the New York Knicks to handle, and I think they're going to advance. Now, between LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and the Los Angeles Lakers against Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, and the Golden State Warriors, I think the Lakers are going to move on in 7. I think there's a chance I could see the Lakers go on a potential playoff run this season with Luka Doncic. Now, against the Warriors, it's not going to be easy, but I think LeBron and Luka are going to take care of the Golden State Warriors, and they're going to move on by the end of the day. And then between the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder, this is actually my first upset. I think the Denver Nuggets are going to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in 6 games. More playoff experience, and I think the Nuggets, they're going to give the Thunder a bit of a competition. And I think Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, they're both going to go off against the Thunder. So, next up, between Denver and the Lakers, I think LeBron James, actually, let's go with round 2 really quick. I realized I did not do that. So I have the Cavaliers. Let's see. Yeah, so Cavaliers and Celtics for my final 4, along with Denver and LA in my final 4. So between the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers, I'm going to go with the Denver Nuggets. As I said, LeBron's playoff run comes to an end. I think the Nuggets are just too much. And the Nuggets did beat the Lakers at least twice in the postseason. So I think the Denver Nuggets are going to make it back to the NBA Finals. And between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics, I'm going to go with the Boston Celtics. In 7, it's not going to be easy, but they just won a championship, and I'm not expecting this team to slow down anytime soon. So with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they're both going to team up and go off on the Cleveland Cavaliers. So for the 2025 NBA Finals, I have the Denver Nuggets against the Boston Celtics. I'm going to go with Boston 7. I think they're going to repeat this season. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are both going to win their 2nd NBA championship this season. Boston has been red hot all year. Don't sleep on them, and don't sleep on them in the NBA Finals, because at the end of the day, I, Bill Man, the sports guy, have the Boston Celtics winning the NBA Finals in 7 games against the Denver Nuggets. And that's going to be all for episode number 202 of Bill Man, the Sport Guys podcast. I'm your host, Bill Man, the sports guy. You can always let me know your thoughts and opinions on Twitter at Bill Man Sports, Instagram at Bill Man Sports Guy, and here on YouTube at Bill Man Sports Guy. And for the latest news on the NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, and college sports, this is the podcast to be. Stay tuned for episode number 203, where I give out my